Greetings, everyone, and welcome to what I think is our first midday PMI event of this year. That is, you'll notice here on our welcome slide, you heard customary music, but also you see some icebreaker activities here. So we invite you to jump into the chat, lower right-hand corner, little text bubble there, and pick one or two of these questions here and share a little bit in the chat. Get your fingers warmed up here for participation. So the first one's interesting. If you're a project management style or a Microsoft app, I'm wondering why does it have to be a Microsoft app? But what it is, which one would it be and why? Oh, your project management style is an app. What would it be? Or what's the funniest or most unexpected risk you've ever had to manage on a project? That could get interesting there. Or item 3 here is AI, like Copilot, could automate one annoying task in your daily work. What would you choose? The promise of AI. What would it mean to you personally to have some annoying task done? If you're doing brushing once again, that's not annoying. That's you could think very quickly. If you could have a project management superpower, what would that be? Okay, and let's check out and see if we got some participants here in the. Looks like nobody yet in the chat. But we're looking for someone to break the ice in the chat there. Hey, we have another new feature that I'm interested in also. So there's this thing in the bottom of your page menu here, send a reaction. I'm curious if this is working for people. Somebody send me some reactions. Let me see if they appear on the screen. Thank you for the applause, the heart. All right, the emoji, that's working. Hey, this is neat. You're going to be able to react to things through the course of the presentation. Love the feedback. Thank you so much. I can turn the music volume down. Sorry about that. We're off. There we go. There you go. Music is down. I've got a couple of raised hands, but I don't think that we're enabling everyone's video. Excuse me, in audio, but you can chat. So looking for something in the chat messages. Make certain that's working. And I have to find the cough button. Hopefully you didn't hear that. All right. Okay, we got some people there in the chat. We are at start time. We're gonna give people maybe a minute or two just to come in still at this point in time. So as you're here, pick out one of these icebreaker questions and log an answer in the chat. Let's go ahead and do that. And if the music volume is okay, give me thumbs up, and if not, thumbs down. 33 people here. You like the music volume? Super. Super. I see our guest speaker is anteing up something here in the icebreaker category. Is a Microsoft Planner, is that the superhero question? Is that the superpower?
Yeah, correct.
We'll know more in a moment. All righty, we're at 36 attendees at this point. We'll hang on no longer than another minute, or down to a half minute before we officially kick things off. Welcome, everybody. Glad that you're here. Hey, chat is blocked for viewers. Oh, okay, maybe we fixed something. Now, always interested in your contribution, man. Thank you so much. Like when you fix things. Okay, Doug. Looking for that 2 to appear on my computer screen. It says we're 2 minutes after our official start time, and we're there. And as such, hey, welcome everybody. It's good to be back. I'm Rich Gargas. I'm here as your MC for PMI CIC midday event. Well, it's midday for us. Actually, we have some guests here that are over in the UK, and it's later than midday for them. So good evening, good afternoon, and good day, everybody. Welcoming to Level Up Your Projects with the new Microsoft Planner Premium. We're going to get on with that in just a second, but as is typical with this type of a session here, we have an agenda. I'm going to cover next year some chapter announcements that will go pretty briefly there. The president of the chapter has some business and chapter business and PMI updates that she'll be covering with you. We have our featured presentation that brings us all here by two special guest speakers, experts from Wellington. We'll have time for Q&A within that, and we're using a new Q&A technology feature today, something called, I think it's pronounced Slido, S-L-I-D-O. More on that, and maybe another slide or two. We'd like you to take the program survey throughout, and then we'll feature some upcoming events and have the PDU code and have a great time of it in under 90 minutes. So let's get on with it, shall we? Now, I mentioned that we're going to do some things with QR codes today. And this is one. This is the photo of the QR code. That's get a photo of this QR code to access Slido, which is an application for adding questions for Q&A. Okay, and so you're welcome to do that now. We'll display the code again right before we go to our speakers here. Our speakers are going to use QR code, I think, to be able to do some polling within the context of their presentations, and then our survey is going to be accessible at the end of the session today in a QR code. Here's the bottom line. Keep your phone handy and ready for the QR codes as they appear for participation within that. All righty. Now on to the announcements here. Three major announcements on this slide deck in each of the three columns. First of all, we're looking for some recent PMPs, those who have recently accomplished, and congratulations to that to your PMP, because we're looking to start up a study group this month. This would be a February and March activity with the goal of providing helpful insights to individuals that are pursuing certification. So we're looking for volunteers for the certification study group pilot. Okay, so if you're interested in that, contact education@pmicic.org. That's education and then the website address, of course, if you'd like to assist in that. Again, that's those that recently attained your PMP. We also are looking for speakers for the women's panel so if you're interested in participating in that, we're looking for responses within the next couple of weeks here, by the 21st of February here. Submit a bio, summary of your experience, why you'd like to be a panelist, and where you do that. Go back to your February email newsletter from the chapter, because the application form link is in that. So the application link, if you're interested in being a speaker to the women's panel, for the women's panel, that is in the February newsletter. So go dig that up there. And lastly here, don't know if you were aware, but you get discounts on certification prep classes. So as you are pursuing various certifications, remember that the chapter is partnered with PM Training, a leading PMI authorized training partner, to help bring you discounts and the training that's there. And to explore the full list of available courses, discounts, and ability to register, you hit our you hit the chapter website for that. And then that's kind of all work and professional related. If you want to kind of relax and take a day or something like that, PMI membership also gets you discounts to various things, such as a visit to the Indianapolis Zoo. 35% discount, and kind of caught my eye, the tickets are valid any day, including when the zoo is hosting special events. So that's a really, really good deal. You can scan here, or I think we have one of our volunteers that will be adding the link that's there. That's a very fine print. We'll add that into the chat window here in just a little bit. And you can go ahead and hit that and save it. And that's your access to a discount for the Indianapolis Zoo, a neat benefit to being a member. Now we move to the segment here for chapter business. So I invite Kelly Sandstrom, chapter president, to cover off the next business slides here. Kelly, it's all yours.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for this lunchtime webinar. Super excited to bring this topic to you all this afternoon. We'll get into it in just a moment, but I want to cover some chapter business and PMI updates with all of you. So it's it's my honor to step into the president role for the next 2 years for the chapter. If we have met and you've been here with us in January, thanks for coming back. If we haven't had the chance to meet yet, appreciate you joining today, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. As part of our goals this year as a chapter leadership team, we want to make sure to increase the amount of information and transparency that we're providing to you on all the things going on internally with our chapter. So as part of that, I want to share some fun chapter business updates with you this afternoon. So our chapter leadership team, our board and our leadership team, we've got a lot of stuff kind of happening behind the scenes. And a couple of things are jumping out that I'm really excited to share with you. We already have a 2025 approved chapter budget. And this was the result of, I think, 3 iterations of the budget that the chapter board and the directors have already gone through. It's only February 6th, and we've made it to an approved budget, which is super exciting. We also met as a board a few weekends ago, January 25th, to begin drafting a 3-year strategic roadmap for our chapter. This is not something that has been done in the most recent years, so it was really cool to get everybody around the table and start thinking about goals and priorities long-term for the chapter. And as part of that, a really exciting announcement to share is that we updated our chapter mission statement through that strategic planning workshop. And actually on the next slide in a moment, I will share with you what that new mission statement is. Upcoming this month, we are getting the full leadership team, so board of directors and chapter committee chairs or directors together to take that 3-year strategic plan and break it down into some annual planning for 2025. So that's coming up for our leadership team on the 22nd. And then, of course, annually as a chapter, we do submit a charter renewal to PMI Global every year. That's coming up and due by the 31st of March every year. So that is on the top of our minds right now as well. All right, let's jump to the next slide and I will show you that new mission statement that we came up with for the chapter. It is to advance the profession of project management and positively impact Central Indiana by providing professionals, students, and organizations with the tools, certifications, and networks they need to achieve excellence in project success and career growth. Really excited to expand on this mission statement. Our previous mission statement still holds true. We move our members from where they are to where they want to be in their professional careers. This takes it one step further. We're really keying in on the positively impact piece to make sure that we're aligning with PMI's kind of new mission to advance project success and do good in the world. And you'll see that also with the statements of professionals, students, and organizations. We have a lot of great ideas to reach different groups and markets this year and beyond. So this mission statement's really going to be key to us moving forward in that direction. So let's go to the next slide. A couple more updates for you, and then I will get you back to Rich. PMI has a lot going on right now. If you've been following them on social media or get their updates, Agile Alliance has joined PMI as of January 2025, or actually as of December 31st. They joined forces to enhance support for the project management and Agile communities, now known as PMI Agile Alliance. The partnership's going to bring together PMI's global reach and Agile Alliance's expertise to empower professionals with a broader range of tools, resources, and approaches. The other update from PMI just recently is that they have made a change to their membership pricing and their benefits. The annual membership fee for your PMI membership now is $149 in the United States, and then they are charging a $10 application fee for new members. I do want to highlight that your chapter membership price remains unchanged. So we are not changing that price this year. It's still the same $35 that you're used to. And then the last update on the PMO front, for all of my PMO practitioners in the room, this one's near and dear to my heart because I'm a PMO practitioner. Just this week, 2 days ago, PMI launched the new PMO Certified Professional Exam, Exam Prep e-learning, and the PMO Practice Guide. We've been waiting a really long time for that. So if you are interested or you have that certification, make sure to log into PMI and learn all about those new updates. All right, we'll go to the next slide. Finally, for me, we've got PM Expo coming up on March 20th. That is a free annual conference that PMI hosts for its audiences. So log on to PMI, sign up. It's free to attend. It's all happening all day on March 20th, and really looking forward to that event. All right, thanks everyone. I will hand it back to Rich.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you so much for that. All right, it's now time for the featured presentation and featured presenters. So who are these people that join us midday today? Well, Baz Kinda is a Microsoft project and portfolio management consultant and commercial director at Wellington, which is a leading PPM and PMO consultancy. He works closely with the Microsoft Modern Work Management team, where he's tasked with helping organizations address their PPM pains and increase their project management maturity. Our other co-presenter, there we go, is Nicole Petrangello, a project management consultant at Wellington as well. Nicole is certified with Microsoft in Microsoft Power Platform Fundamentals and has a deep track record of successful projects as she guides organizations through the software development process lifecycle. Together, they're going to help us level up our projects with the new Microsoft Planner Premium. So please put your virtual hands together. There's an emoji for that. Put your virtual hands together for Baz and Nicole. Okay, guys, it's all yours.
Well, thank you very much, Rich and Kelly. Thank you guys for having us today. And thank you for the round of applause. Let's see if they last until the end of the presentation. Fingers crossed they will. Well, look, Rich has done a great job introducing who I am, who Nicole is. So hello from me, just to prove that I'm a real person, not an AI agent. Here I am in the flesh. And Nicole, do you want to say hello as well?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us today. We're really looking forward to this.
And to help you guys visualize where in the world we are, I'm actually based in the United Kingdom by a small town called Windsor, which is where the world's largest active castle is currently in use by the royal family. And Nicole, you're based in the US.
Yes, I'm based in the US in Denver, Colorado. I'm looking at the Rocky Mountains right outside my window right now. So pretty nice.
I'm looking at my backyard and looking at my very sorry looking lawn, but that's my life. So guys, we are going to turn the cameras off and very much focus on the slide deck. So we've got a lot to show you guys today. I am going to start the presentation by providing a very brief overview of who Wellington are, so you understand who we are as a company, what we do. We're also going to run a Menti poll. So my colleague Nicole did post this in the chat window a few minutes ago. And the reason for the Menti poll is so that we get a really good feel for the type of audience we've got on this call. And as appropriate, we'll try and tailor certain elements best we can. So without any further delay, we are Wellington, and that's what I'm going to talk about now. So we have been around since 2001. We started off as a pure project management consulting firm based in the UK, but we've now got a presence in Spain, in India, and as of last year, in the US as well. We've got 3 distinct service areas. We provide technology services. So we have been a Microsoft Gold certified project and portfolio management partner since 2009. And last year, we were recognized as being one of the top 4 partners globally, which was great. We also provide wider consultancy services, training services, and so forth. We also run a very live and vibrant Wellington community on LinkedIn, where we do host a range of events that take place on a monthly basis. And rather than just people from Wellington presenting, we normally invite our customers or people from industry to come along and present and knowledge share through live webinars. So go and check that out on the Wellington website. Of course, we will be sharing some very useful links a bit later. Again, these are the locations where we are based. Of course, you can find more by going to the URLs that are shared. So one of our pet hates really is spreadsheets. most of the organizations we deal with, we find inevitably are using spreadsheets. And it's quite annoying because it's not a project and portfolio management tool. I think I did spot in the chat window earlier, somebody said that Microsoft Excel was their preferred project management tool. I would disagree. It's a great tool. I've used it in the past myself as well. I put my hands up, but it's not really the tool to take the PMO forward. So before I move on to the technology, and we really do a bit of a deep dive on where Microsoft Project and Planner are going, and we perform a live demo, I'm going to switch over now to Nicole. Nicole, do you want to share the Mentimeter on screen? Again, for us to run a poll, a very quick fire poll, just to understand who is in the audience, what your interests are, what your current tool sets are. And like I said, we'll try our best to try and tailor the presentation as best as we can. So Nicole, the floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course, I'm having some technical issues with it, so we may have to use the chat for the rest. But we did get some options or some responses.
Oh, I can see your screen, Nicole, by the way. It's
Perfect.
popped up.
Perfect. So we got some options in for the first question, which is, what is your role? 15 responses coming in with this one. But yeah, because of some technical issues, I don't know if we're going to be able to use Mentimeter for the rest, but if you guys wouldn't mind putting comments in the chat for the rest of the questions. So next question, we just love to know if you use Microsoft 365 in your organization currently, yes or no. So if you wouldn't mind throwing some of your answers in the chat, that would be wonderful.
And I can see lots of yeses coming through. In fact, it's a bit of a surprise these days when an organization isn't using Microsoft 365. I know somebody's commented that they use Asana, but do you as an organization also have access to Microsoft 365, which is where, of course, you would access Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Microsoft Teams, and SharePoint. So again, I think the majority of the audience, Nicole, are using Microsoft 365, which is great because what we are presenting today is entirely hosted inside of M365.
Great. Okay, next question. If you are currently using M365, which it seems like most of you are you currently using Copilot? Do you have access to Copilot, or are you maybe getting access in the future?
Bit of a mixed response coming through. So I'd say, I mean, not obviously not counting, but from what I can see, it seems like it's almost a 50-50 split. And for those of you that might not be familiar with what Copilot is, I guess it's the enterprise version of ChatGPT is the best way that I can describe it. It's a bit of a life changer for me because I no longer on Teams calls take notes manually. Not that my notes were the best in the first place, but it certainly saved me a lot of time. So, okay. So, yes, some people have got it. Other people might have limited access whilst organizations try and figure out how they're going to implement security around Copilot to ensure that people aren't able to go in and, see all kinds of things that they shouldn't really be seeing. So, okay. Nicole, I think that's almost a 50-50 split.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have one last question. So, as it stands today, what tools are you all currently using to manage your projects, manage your portfolios? Are you using spreadsheets? Are you using something like Asana? Are you already using Microsoft tools? Maybe you're already using Planner. Maybe you have experience with Project for the Web. What does that look like?
I like one of the answers that came in, which was too many. We've got too many tools, which was always the case actually in lots of organizations. So we're seeing Smartsheet, Monday, and Jira, PlanView. Somebody's using Planner. We like you a lot. In fact, a few people are using Planner. Spreadsheets. Somebody is using spreadsheets, and they've admitted to it as well. Planisware, Project Online. Project Online is really interesting because that is a great solution, but it's pretty much legacy and on the verge of becoming end of life. Not that the date's been formally announced, but that's the direction that it's headed in. So, okay, a real wide mix of tools being used. A handful of people saying Project for the Web, which is great because that is essentially what we are presenting today, as well as the future roadmap. Okay, somebody's using Primavera, which is a real heavyweight tool. And I suspect you might be working in engineering, construction, infrastructure projects, maybe, Bill. That's the type of industry where we see Primavera being used predominantly. So the tool that we have, it's thanks to Nicole, by the way, and
Of course.
Mentimeter never works when you want it to work.
Of course not.
But nevertheless, I think we got a good example or a good insight into the audience that we have. So again, it is quite diverse, and that's not a problem because we are covering lots of bases today. So I'm going to start talking about Microsoft Project for the Web and the Accelerator Plus, and that will really make a bit more sense as I progress through the slides. So first of all, organizations that maybe are using spreadsheets, or maybe they're using, Word, PowerPoint, non-recognized project and portfolio management tools. What is one of our most common drivers for deploying a solution like Monday, Smartsheet, or what we are going to present today? Well, it's to improve visibility of all of their projects and to get better clarity around what their actual statuses are. Many organizations want to implement improved governance processes. They want projects to be run in a very consistent way. They want better visibility around their resources. They want to be able to collaborate on projects, which historically using the standard standalone tools is not really something that can be supported. And increasingly, many organizations, because they are becoming aware of the benefits of Copilot or other AI tools that are available, they appreciate that actually working across a variety of mismatched solutions or standalone tools is not going to enable them to leverage the power that AI offers. So many people move to a tool like this because they want to get AI ready. So that brings us now to Microsoft Project for the Web. Microsoft Project for the Web is the latest version of Project. It's entirely browser-based. It's kind of a replacement for Project Desktop. Now, Project Desktop is a much-loved tool. It's been around since the 1980s, but it is looking a little bit dated. It looks very powerful, but also quite clunky in some ways. So Microsoft did a few years ago start rolling out Microsoft Project for the Web. And because there is some overlap between Project for the Web and the Planner solution that you get for free as part of Microsoft 365, there was a little bit of confusion around which one should I use. And as a result of that, Microsoft have decided that Project for the Web is going to become Planner for the Web. So they are starting to standardize some of their branding under the Planner umbrella. And I think we will see a bit of a shift away from Project. Now, aside from being a bit of a rebrand, one of the biggest benefits of the brand new Planner for the Web solution is going to be the fact that it's got Copilot built in. And we will be demonstrating that. In fact, Nicole is going to be running a really good demonstration around the power of Copilot within standalone Planner a bit later. But what many organizations don't appreciate always when they've got Project for the Web, soon to be Planner, is the fact that it's designed to be extended. It's designed to be extended with the Microsoft Power Platform. So that's Power Apps, the app building solution, Power Automate for governance frameworks, and Power BI, of course, for enterprise-wide reporting on a very powerful scale. So giving you an example here, imagine you've got Project for the Web or Planner by itself. All you can do with that solution is create individual projects and add tasks within them. But by layering on top the Power Platform, all of a sudden, you can start taking in projects in a formalized manner. You can ensure that the projects that are coming in have got a robust business case behind them, that they are strategically aligned, that they deliver some benefit. And another thing that many organizations want are live portfolio views, program views, and they want better visibility around their resources. They want to be able to implement governance process. All of the things basically that you see on screen are the types of features and functionality that we can drop in over and above what you get with Microsoft Project for the Web, again, soon to be Planner. Although for the duration of this event, I think I might only refer to Project for the Web, otherwise it gets a little bit too much. So in order to extend Project for the Web, we've created a Power App called the Accelerator Plus. It's got lots of capability within it. I'm not going to dwell upon some of this example capability because I have shared the slide deck with the team, and the team will be distributing that out a bit later. But in very quick summary, the Accelerator Plus, it basically extends Project for the Web to give you something that's an AI-ready PMO project management solution that can be used across the enterprise. Importantly, what Nicole and I demonstrate today, it is almost kind of out of the box, generic. It's a demo environment. Bear in mind that it can be customized. It can be extended to suit your ways of working. It's a solution that would always be deployed inside of your Microsoft 365 tenant, and it only requires native Microsoft licensing. Now, before we get into the demo, and the very first part of the demo is going to be showcasing the latest version of Planner, where we really demonstrate the power of Copilot and the intuitive user interface generally. But before I do, there was another development around the world of Copilot a few weeks ago. And for anyone that follows Microsoft generally online, you might have seen mention of the AI agents. AI agents are a step beyond basic Copilot, which, you can go in, ask a few questions and get responses back. Whereas the agents are almost like having access to virtual resources that will go away, perform tasks, maybe on a recurring basis, and make your life easier. So if you think about your project management environments, your PMO, for example, inevitably people will be performing services like project assurance. Okay, it's something that needs to be done. Nobody really enjoys it. So how about we bring in an agent that can take over that responsibility and free you up to do some of the more fun stuff? So that's where really the agents are pitched. And we ourselves do have some agents in the pipeline that we will be launching pretty soon. But in the meantime, the agent that is pretty much available almost immediately from Microsoft is the project manager agent, which is quite impressive. And before somebody raises the question, is the expectation this is going to replace project managers? Absolutely not. It will help do some of the menial tasks that you maybe don't have time to do, and you want an AI bot to take over that responsibility. So I'm going to play a video on the next screen. I wasn't able to share my audio, but the audio is going to be picked up by my mic, so it might be slightly echoey. I hope it's not, but I will play the video, which is a couple of minutes long, and then we are going to dive straight into a live demonstration. So grab your popcorn. Here we go.
Introducing the Project Manager, a new agent that automates project and task management. Start by creating a new plan and then selecting Plan with Project Manager. Give the plan a name and share it with the group. Now it's time to set the goal for the project. Think of this like a well-crafted prompt that AI will use to create relevant tasks to complete the project successfully. The more descriptive and specific, the better. You can even add relevant files to the plan to provide key information and context. Then click Generate Tasks, and the project manager instantly creates a task list tailored to this goal. Yes, it's that easy. When the team wants to brainstorm, they can use the Microsoft Whiteboard app right within the plan, allowing them to stay in the flow of work. As sticky notes are added, they can be converted into tasks, which automatically adds and updates the plan. Tasks can also be added manually or through the drop-down menu and assigned to team members or the project manager for completion. You can track the project manager's progress on tasks in the board view. Sometimes the project manager may need more input. When it does, it places the task in the Needs Your Input bucket. By clicking on the task, you can open the loop component and provide feedback. Simply click Regenerate, and the project manager executes the next steps. Multiple team members can also leave feedback on completed tasks. All feedback is captured live within the loop component. After making the necessary updates, click Regenerate, and the project manager takes care of the rest. Changes happen to any project. When they do, the project manager makes adjusting your plan easy. Simply update the goal and click Regenerate Tasks to instantly refresh the project plan. As your project progresses, you can review the project manager's recent activity on the project manager page, ensuring everything stays on track. Want the project manager to handle it all to get work done faster? On the project manager page, just click on the Assign All Tasks to Project Manager button. With the project manager, you're not just managing tasks, you're empowering your team to collaborate and execute more effectively, keeping your projects on course and on time.
So that was the brand new Project Manager agent. Thank you for the applause. And the great news is that if you, within your organization, already have Microsoft Copilot, you are automatically licensed to make use of not only this agent, but there's a whole wave of agents that are now available that will do all kinds of things, from helping you facilitate your meetings, taking notes. But again, there's a whole wave of agents now available, and people are also going off building their own agents. We ourselves, we are in the middle of building a OKRs agent, an assurance agent, a resource management agent. So again, there's a whole world of opportunity out there. Before Nicole takes the screen, let me just quickly reiterate as well that we are going to be taking questions at the end. If you've got questions, you are more than welcome to post them within the chat window, and we'll circle back to those at the end of the presentation. And we are going to try and leave at least 10 minutes towards the back end to be able to cover those questions off. So Nicole, I think it's over to you now. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen and diving into that live demo of Microsoft Planner, and once you're getting set up, just to set the scene for everyone. So Nicole's going to be going through the brand new Planner Premium Teams experience. So this is something that you can access within Microsoft Teams, and she'll be going through the standard interface, showing you how quickly you can build plans up, and of course, demonstrating Copilot. So with that said, Nicole, the floor is yours.
All righty. So like Baz mentioned, I'm going to kick off the demo showcasing the new Microsoft Planner. Also, like Baz mentioned, yes, I'm accessing it directly through Teams. I've just gone into my app, search for Planner, and here we are. So I'll take you on kind of a high-level tour to get started, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. So for those of you who haven't ever experienced Planner, let's start talking about it. So the first thing I want to show is my plans. So from this interface, I can, of course, view and access all of the projects that I currently have access to. So it's kind of a hub for all of your projects, kind of a jumping off point. I can also create a new plan from here, and we'll come back to that in just a minute after I show you some of these other features over here. So the next part is my tasks. So this is where you can view and update all tasks that are assigned to you. So assigned to you as the end user from across all of your plans that you have access to. So for me personally, this is actually where I live every single day, just to make sure I'm holding myself accountable, completing all my tasks on time, and I can also see what's on the docket for the future. So something I really like to do here, like you can sort by certain fields. So right now I'm sorting by due date, so I can see the most current due date. It's overdue in my case, but as I scroll down, I can see what's upcoming, so I can prioritize the most pertinent items. So really like that feature. And yeah, this is my tasks. The next piece here is my day. So my day is essentially the same thing as my tasks, but it filters down so you can just see and focus on what's due today. So kind of your high priority items. So you can check this every day to see what your responsibilities for. It gives you a nice little good morning message every day. It shows you, how far along you are with your daily tasks. And all of those tasks with today as a due date get automatically funneled in. So a nice resource to kind of block out the noise and just focus on what's the most relevant for you. And the last piece over here is my portfolios. So this is a newer feature within Planner. I think it came out within the past few months for sure. So this allows you to group projects together and kind of see high-level data points across all of your projects. So I've created one just called Client Projects. And if I click in here, after it loads up, you'll be able to see a list of plans that I've added into this portfolio. So you can see that high-level information. So the plan owner, I can see progress of my full project. So this is pulling from my project plan. I can see start and end date across the entire project. And then I'm able to allocate an overall status to the project. So this is portfolios. I'm sure there's probably a lot of updates to come to this particular area of Planner. So now I'm going to head back into my plans, and I want to create a new plan from scratch. So let's do that. All right, so here we have the option to either create a basic plan, which is essentially your free version of Planner, or a premium plan. So basic plans include grid view, board view, kind of those standard views that you might be used to if you're using, an Asana, Monday, really any project management tool that's on the market. Then we have premium plans. So these plans include timeline view, goals, and a handful of other views, which I'll kind of walk you through what all of those views are in just a moment. And premium also includes Copilot. So Baz was talking about it before, but if you're not familiar, Copilot is Microsoft's AI assistant. So beyond that, we also have a template library. So we can create plans from a template as well. These are some templates here to get you started, but there's a lot more options if you click see all templates, quite a large template library. But for today, we're going to create a premium plan from scratch, and we can build our project. So I'm just going to call it webinar demo project. You're able to add it to your pin plans, which is right over here. So kind of easy access to plans that are the most relevant to you. You can add it to an M365 group. Click create, and your project will be created for you. So once this loads up, I want to show you how we can populate our project plan with tasks using Copilot. So let's pop that Copilot window open over here. And let's put in a request. So I want Copilot to help me build a plan to plan and execute a project management webinar. So let's see what it comes up with here. So it's building our plan. Okay, we've got an outline for the plan. That's great. And now let's see what else it comes up with. All right, there we go. So that didn't take terribly long, and now we have a full project plan to get us going. So here we have our summary tasks. So for example, defining our objectives and our goals, identifying our target audience. Underneath all of those parent tasks, let's say we have some subtasks for completion. So this is a pretty solid outline, I think, for doing what I want to do. It's also given us some buckets, so kind of categorizing these tasks into certain categories so I can filter. I can use other features within Planner to kind of hone in on specific things, but we've got a plan built from scratch, and now we can make any adjustments that we need. We can remove certain tasks, add new ones in. We can fill in some of our fields, like who these tasks should be assigned to, what those start and finish dates are, things like that. So Copilot is a really great tool to utilize to kind of give you a starting point to building some of these plans. So now that we've done the first Copilot piece, I'm going to get back into Copilot near the end. So we're not fully done with Copilot for sure, but I'm going to pull up another plan that's already existed. Some progress has been tracked against this plan, and I'll show you some other features. So the next thing I want to do is kind of walk you through all these views. So all different ways of visualizing your project plans. So right now we're in our grid view, which is our default view. And like I mentioned before, grid view is pretty standard across any tool that you're using to manage your project. So it's that list format. So within this, we're capturing all of our tasks. We're capturing duration, effort as well. So total effort versus effort completed and remaining. Scrolling over, we have our start and finish dates. And I really love this feature. Your finish dates get highlighted in red if they're not completed and they're overdue. So nice little visual cue for you there. Assign to, so you can pull in some team members, add some accountability into your plan. Buckets, which I mentioned before, percentage complete. And then you're also able to add some custom fields. So we've created this RAG custom field with our red, amber, green options over here. So you can get creative with it, have a little fun. So that is grid view in a nutshell. Next, I want to show board. So board, again, pretty standard view if you've used a similar project management tool or currently use Planner. Your Kanban style view. So over here, you can see that we're grouping by progress. So we have our not started column, or in progress and completed. And this view is really nice because you're able to kind of drag and drop tasks between all the different statuses. You can also group by different things. So let's say I want to group by bucket. Here's all the buckets I've created, and then the tasks living within each bucket. And again, can drag and drop between different buckets and things. So really nice view if you want to group by certain things. Moving on to timeline next. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can actually see. There we go. So this is our timeline view. Over here on the left-hand side, you can see a list of all of our tasks. You can see those assignees. But then the main portion of the screen is, of course, our timeline. So really nice view to use to see start and finish dates of all your tasks, especially to see how they're connected through dependencies. So all these arrows represent a dependency. If I hover over the arrow, I can see exactly what type of dependency it is. So in this case, finish to start. So you have that option as well to denote dependency types throughout your plan. And this is a great view to use if you want to adjust your schedule in any way. So you can adjust your start and finish dates. You can move things around. You can create additional dependencies. So really nice view to utilize for kind of manipulating your plans or rescheduling. Moving into charts next. So these are a couple preset charts that just allow you to better visualize data from your plan. I think when Baz takes over, he'll touch on reports that are a little bit more robust with Power BI, but within Planner, you do have some visibility into charts. So here's a status breakdown over here. We have a breakdown by those buckets that we've developed. And within each bucket, we can see a status breakdown and then also effort per person. So all of my project team members are down here. I can see how much effort has been allocated. And then within that, again, a status breakdown per person. So some nice preset charts over here. This is the last view I'll share, and then we'll kind of get into some other things, but this is the people view. So up here at the top, we can see all of our project team members. And again, underneath, we can see all of the tasks that this specific team member is accountable for or responsible for. And you can also group by different things similar to the board view. But what I really like in this view is that we can also see what tasks are unassigned. So here you can see we have quite a few that haven't been there hasn't been an assignee added on. So it's really nice. I can see that, and I can then move these tasks throughout and assign them to different team members just to make sure, nothing slips through the cracks. There's someone responsible for everything. So that is people view. You can see there's a couple more views as well. I'm not going to have time to get into those in too much detail today because I want to show you some other things. So going back to grid view really quickly, I want to show you some other features. So first being filters. So filters here just allow us to hone in on certain subsets of data from the plan. So something that you might want to do is, let's see all my tasks that are late. I want to focus on all those overdue tasks. So I've input that filter, and now you can see really clearly all of these tasks are overdue. So I can follow up on anything that needs to be followed up on, get updates, things like that. So the filter just kind of allows you to hone in on certain things and focus on those. I'll clear that out quickly. Another thing is conditional coloring. So this allows you to color code tasks based on specific criteria, so you can visually highlight important information. So kind of similar to that red highlight you see on the due dates, we can focus on other things as well. So let's say I want to focus on all tasks that my team member Adele is assigned to. I can pick my color, so a little fun element with that. Click save. And then if I scroll over to my assigned to column, I can now see that all of those tasks assigned to her have that highlight. So again, a nice little visual cue. I can remove that when I'm done. And now my plan is kind of back to normal. So that is conditional coloring. The next thing I want to share, I want to actually go into a task so you can see kind of everything we're capturing here. So this is one task, my single task. There's a lot of information here. So within this panel, I can see the assignee. I can add labels to my tasks to, again, further categorize them. I can add notes or descriptions about all these tasks. And then here come my fields that you've already seen in the plan. So start and finish date, duration, percent complete, bucket, priority. I'm able to add items to sprints if that's how you're managing things. Within tasks as well, you can add checklists. So if you want to break this task down into smaller, more actionable items, checklist is a great thing to utilize. Here you can see that effort calculation. So completed effort plus remaining equals the total amount of effort allocated to this task. And then down here, any custom fields that we've created. So we have one for risk and then that RAG field that I shared before. Over here, we can add dependencies into our plan. So we can choose the task. We can denote a dependency type, like I mentioned before. We can note if there's a delay. So if it's immediate or if there's a lead or a lag, and if there is a lead or a lag, by how much. And then we can add attachments as well to our plan. Typically, and I'm not set up for this, but you can, this does link into kind of your standard Teams interface, and you can have conversations, chat team members, @mention team members, talk about the task, talk about progress, see where you're at. So conversations can also be linked to these tasks. And then, that's kind of the task breakdown. Something else that could be useful for project managers specifically, you also have access to kind of a change log within your tasks. So if you have a team member who likes to change those due dates to make themselves look a little bit better, you can come in here, see the change log, see exactly who made the change, when they made it, and what the change was. So you have visibility into what's happening against all of these tasks. So you can follow up accordingly if you need to. All right, so that's a task. I think the last thing I want to show, I want to go back into Copilot and just show a couple more things, and then I'll pass it back to Baz to continue with the demo. But I showed creating a plan. So, we asked it to build us a plan from scratch, adding tasks, but there's a couple other things, or many other things, that Copilot can help you with. So the first of which is this understand option. So it can give you a status update about the plan, about what's going on. So let's try that one. Give me a status report for the plan. Let's see what it comes up with. Beyond that, we can also edit, ask Copilot to help us edit a task. Ooh, there we go. There is that status update. Okay, so we can see some high-level information about the project, and then it kind of goes into a breakdown status report for us. So that gives us a place to start, and then of course it asks if we'd like more details on anything, and we can ask it further questions from there. But it can generate a nice status update for you based on where you're at in your plan. We can also have it edit our plan for us. So maybe we want to add subtasks or change certain information. It can help with that. And then beyond that, we can ask it questions. So we can ask it other questions about our plan, and we can ask it general questions. So there's a lot of potential with that aspect. So let's ask it something else. Let's see how it does with this. I want to ask it, are we at risk of not completing this project on time? Let's see what it tells us today. Okay, so it gives us, it kind of backs up, gives us some information about why it thinks what it thinks. And then it says, given these factors, crucial to address delays, allocate additional resources to ensure the plan stays on track. So it seems like we're maybe not on track at this point, and it gives us a suggestion to maybe correct that. So of course I could ask it follow-up questions after this, get some more information, but Copilot is a really helpful resource within your premium plans in Planner. It can help you quite a bit. So that is Copilot in a nutshell. I am going to pass it back to Baz now to continue with the demo.
Thank you very much. And we've got lots of questions coming in thick and fast, which is great. For now, I'm going to go back to my screen. So you should be able to see the project homepage. It gets a little bit confusing because we're in a period of transition now to the new planner, but I wanted to point out one thing really quickly. For those of you still using Project, I wanted to point out that if you've got any plans that are sitting in Microsoft Project Desktop, maybe you've got a plan in Smartsheet, Asana that you want to export out as an MPP, you can actually click on New Plan and import a project as a plan. So it's not a case of having to start again from the beginning, from a blank canvas. You can import in your existing plans. But I'll come back to all of that shortly. For now, I'm going to build upon what Nicole's already been demonstrating. So Nicole really focused on Planner Premium. She showcased the functionality that's available within the schedule view, the grid, the timeline, the board, and some of the power of Copilot, which is really, really good. One of the features that Nicole did touch upon really briefly was the portfolio view. I've got to stress that actually the portfolio view that you get within Planner Premium, it's a very, very basic feature. It's not the type of feature you would want to use where you are genuinely looking after a large portfolio of projects or you're working in a PMO, because actually you want to capture more data than what Planner by itself allows you to capture. So with that considered, I'm jumping over now to the homepage of the Accelerator Plus. The Accelerator Plus, for those of you that are interested, I'm seeing one or two questions. It is a Microsoft Power App. It's a model-driven Power App. And for those of you that have maybe got experience with Dynamics 365 or the Dataverse, this is the same platform, really. It's got the same look and feel as Dynamics 365. It's got the same back end, which is the Dataverse. Really scalable, really powerful. But anyways, here I am on the homepage of the Accelerator Plus. And on here, I can see a variety of details that are very much geared towards my login. So this changes based upon the person that's logged in. And here I can see some navigation tiles, very similar in some ways to Microsoft Project Online, if you're familiar with that. I've also got some metrics linked to my specific profile. So I've got 94 new assignments assigned to me. Lucky me. I've got a risk allocated to me, an issue allocated to me, but I can also go in and see the projects by stage. I can see all incoming milestones across the project portfolio, which is really quite powerful. And here at the bottom, I've got a bunch of dials showcasing me the percentage of projects that are on time, on budget, those that are green. Of course, there's other charts there as well. But all of these charts, they're fully configurable. So instead of, I guess, showcasing what's going well, so, oh, great, 25% of projects are on time, I guess it's the 75% that are failing that you really want to focus on. So we can turn this around, and we could also make this a interactive element. So you click into it and it will give you a list of those projects. But of course, we can do some of that with Copilot, which I'll be coming on to a bit later. I'll hide that away for now. I'll open up the menu on the left-hand side. Whoop, I've lost my cursor. There we go. So in this menu, you will see that we've got a multitude of options available. We've got the pipeline view, which is where you can look at incoming project requests, new ideas being submitted. It's where people can go in, build a business case for their project, demonstrate things like strategic alignment, get that prioritization score going. We can also provide program views, project portfolio views, reporting in Microsoft Power BI. Again, as Nicole talked about earlier, she demonstrated charts built in within Planner. Those charts are very much project specific. Whereas the report that I'm going to showcase look across the entire portfolio. Of course, we have all of our RAID logs. We have other management artifacts, as you can see listed. And any Power App that you deal with, whether it's the Accelerator Plus or something else, you can customize, you can extend. If there are logs that are not visible, like a assumptions log, for example, and you need that, you can drop it in. That's relatively simple and straightforward to do. So what I'm going to do at this point is actually, I've jumped to another environment actually, because the other one had more data for the purposes of the homepage. But if I go to the project view, what I can see now, and I'll get rid of the menu again, what I can see is a true reflection of my entire portfolio. So whereas within Planner, if you go to portfolio, all you see are the project names listed out. Here I can see the project name, project manager details, the project type information, portfolio alignment, should the data be there in the background in the first place, program alignment, stage alignment, and again, there's a whole bunch of information that we can bring into this view, but actually we can also create a a number of other global views as well, as you can see here. So if I'm interested in the projects that are slipping from a schedule perspective, click on that, and these are all the projects that are currently identifying as red or amber against the schedule. If I go back, I will, for the sake of time, click on my active projects. So again, this is a list of all the projects that I've been assigned, and of course I'm a demo user in the real world. I think I would have a nervous breakdown if I had this many projects assigned to me. But again, it's a demo environment, lots of projects listed out. What's nice about this is that we can actually go in and group the information. So we can group it. It tells you the project type and the number of projects within that category. I'll expand that out. If I go back, I'm going to ungroup. The other thing you can do is search by keyword, and you can also go in, create your own views as well. But on the homepage, you'll notice we've got lots of KPIs being displayed, and you're probably wondering, well, how are the KPIs being generated? In this example, it's literally me going into my status report saying it's green, it's amber, it's green, maybe something's red. But using the baseline and where applicable, we could also look at the variance between what was planned versus where you are. And based on the rules that we define, something can remain green, it can go amber, it can go red. In fact, we've got customers that also have brag indicators. So that's blue, red, amber, green. There's a whole world of things that you can do. But again, I'll come back to that a bit later. For now, I'm going to switch into a active project. And before I talk about what you're seeing on screen, let me relate this back to what Nicole has been showcasing so far. And I'll do that by clicking on the Task tab. And when I click on the Task tab, it's going to open up a schedule not dissimilar to what Nicole was presenting. So I'm not looking at Planner Premium. This is Project for the Web. At some point, this will automatically rebrand to Planner for the Web. And when it does, your projects are going to carry across, your data is going to carry across. It will be a seamless transition and not very complex at all. So again, there's my project plan. I've got the grid view, the board view, the timeline, exactly the same as what Nicole has already showcased. But around it, we've built this entire wrapper to capture much more detail. This is the name of the project. On the opposite side of the screen, I can pull down this table where I can go in, update some of this key information. But beneath that, I also then have this life cycle, as you see there. So one of the things that many PMOs try and implement is that governance framework, that stage gate process. And this is something that we can support within the tool. And I should point out really quickly that actually, I'm only demonstrating one example. Before this, you can actually define as many project types as you want. Again, you can really go to town. You can have as many as you want. And some projects might have no workflow stage gate process because it's under a certain value. Others might have 5 or 6 stage gates. Others might only have 1 or 2. And in terms of the stage gates themselves, it's entirely up to you to define. And even the checklists within them, it's up to you to define, as well as who the approvers are going to be. In fact, some organizations might turn around and say, well, as long as the person said yes to everything that was requested, we trust the PM, we're going to let them move on to the next stage. Other organizations say, no, that's not going to happen. We need somebody to review what somebody's done. So it could be approval by a single person or by committee. But again, there's a lot of flexibility. So that's the workflow, and the workflows are created using Microsoft Power Automate. If something is submitted off, the relevant approvers will get emails saying that they need to go in and review something. But even within Microsoft Teams, in fact, I'll zip over and show you really quickly. Even within Microsoft Teams, you've got the approvals window. And have I got any data there? No, of course I haven't. But this is where you would normally see the list of incoming approvals. So it's all very much centralized within Microsoft Teams. On the, in fact, sorry, no, before the visualization or below the visualization, we've got all of these tabs. The summary page, this is an example of where we are capturing more data than what you're able to through Microsoft Planner. So description, again, something that is unique to this interface as opposed to Planner by itself. We can define the project type. We can link it to a portfolio in the true sense. We can link it to a program, ignore the spelling. We can also link it to a business unit. We can capture the details of a sponsor. Again, this could be as detailed as you want it to be. And the forms here, by the way, they're actually semi-intelligent. So depending on what I've maybe entered in a earlier field, the remainder of the form could change. Even the workflow could change on the fly. So this is the intelligence that's built in. We've also got some details coming in from the schedule, similarly to what Nicole presented earlier. So this information coming in from the project plan. We can see baseline details, the outputs there of the most recent status report as well. Now, I'll whiz through some of the other views. We've got the business case, where you can capture some narrative around, well, why is the project being run in the first place? Again, this is a very simple example. It could be a lot richer in terms of the detail that you're going to capture. And here we are defining some strategic goals. And against these, we are asking the end team to score on a scale of 1 to 10 to indicate to what extent the organization is going to benefit should this project go ahead and deliver what it's meant to deliver. This is only an example. You can set these Power Apps up in any which way you want. So if you've got a completely different scoring model, absolutely fine. In fact, if you don't want to use this kind of scoring and you want to use OKRs instead, again, that's fine as well. Define your objectives, define your key results, and track them over time. So there's, again, ways in which you can set this up, no limitations, really. I'm going to come back to costs. I will showcase documentation very quickly. So this is all underpinned by SharePoint. We drop in the link, and that gives us access to all of the documents that are contained within that specific directory. I'll keep that pretty brief. I'll come back to resources shortly. I will very quickly jump onto risks. So risks, actions, issues, decisions, we can capture all of this information centrally, and we can visualize it. So there's a very quick visualization there through the matrix. We can drill down into the risks themselves, and this is where, of course, we're capturing all of the detail, things like categorization, what's our risk response going to be, are we going to accept it, are we going to run away from it? Whatever the risk response might be, we can capture. We can also assign it to somebody to keep track of. And actually, you can see an example there of the Teams integration. So that's showing up as green because I am currently online. So if somebody wanted to chat with me, they could do that really quickly. We can also put in our scoring. So probability, impact, we can generate a score. And off the back of that, we associate it with a red, amber, green indicator. And going into things like risk response, again, we are inviting commentary as to what we are going to do to mitigate it, what's our contingency, and so forth. We've got the ability to escalate items, choose where they will be escalated. We can include things on the heart report. And what I really like is the ability to convert a risk into an issue, so that you don't have to go in and rekey all of that information back in. So I've clicked into the risk. All of the data is pre-populated to a large extent, but it's still showing me that actually this issue is a result of this risk. And the reason why the risk has materialized is because Megan did not do a good job. So that's what we're gaining from that insight. But saving and closing this out, you will also notice, as I save and close out again, that we have, let me do that one more time for luck. There we go, we're back. Again, we've got a variety of logs. We can extend this out further as well. One of the things that we are implementing, by the way, at the moment, we track changes. So a change to the scope or, in any given way, or the budget or the timelines. Something that many organizations generally want to see is the change impact. So any project you deploy will inevitably impact a particular department, a group of people. And many organizations want to be able to track that. So we are about to launch a change impact assessment as well. So that will be coming pretty soon. And I should point out, we call this solution the Accelerator Plus. And the reason we have the Accelerator Plus is because on the Microsoft portal in GitHub, you can download the Accelerator, which is a very, very basic Power App to give you an idea of how you can extend Project for the Web. It's not production ready. So we create the Accelerator Plus. We essentially give it away for free as part of our deployments, to be honest. But this is a more fully fledged version, but it is, again, a model-driven Power App. So a multitude of other logs. Conscious of the time, there's a couple of other things that I wanted to showcase really quickly, and that's what I will do now. I'm going to go to this screen again, go into my project view, open up a specific project. Let's go into, not that one. I think it's this one. Is it? Might be. Let's have a look. Oof. Suspense. Is it going to load and show me? Yes, it is. So this is the project that I was intending on showing. And really, I wanted to demonstrate here really quickly that we can capture cost information at a detail level. All of the cost here being captured within the Accelerator Plus, but it could also be coming in from other sources. Or maybe we take some details from here, some details from the ERP solution, and we throw it all together in Power BI to give you centralized visibility of all of that information. We can also build resource pools for our individual projects. The resource pools can consist of named individuals like Deborah and Alex, but also generic resources such as this business analyst or this software engineer. But ultimately what this means is we can assign named resources, generic resources to our project plans, and very quickly get visibility of who's been assigned how many tasks on the project, as you see there. Let me make that full screen. And if I expand it out, you can see all of the individual tasks assigned, but we also get to see where we've got resource conflicts. So in this project, I've assigned Grady the build task, but somebody else has selfishly also assigned Grady to their project as well. I can go along, see where the clash is, and based upon that, I could go and speak to the project manager or determine that really what I need to do is find somebody else that's going to be available. So find a match. Alex and Alan can both perform the same role as Grady, which is lucky for us. So I'm going to select both of them and see their availability. And it looks like both of them have got availability. So whoever I prefer, for whatever reason, is the person that I would then assign to the project. I know that somebody asked a question about cross-project dependencies. So we can manage cross-project dependencies. I probably don't have enough time to be able to go in and demonstrate that in detail. So I will show you some reporting linked to it. Reporting is where I'm going to go next. After I've showcased some reporting, I'm going to go back into the Accelerator Plus and demonstrate the power of Copilot beyond what Nicole's already demonstrated, because there's a lot more you can do with it. I've ended up actually in one of my resource management reports that I'll go back to later. Here is an example of the type of reporting that we would typically provide with the Accelerator Plus. So it's really wide ranging. And I say we provide this. If you've got project for the web, if you've built your own Power App similar to the Accelerator Plus and you want to be able to pull all of the reporting out centrally, again, Power BI is great at doing that. And it's really good at visualizing or helping you visualize the data. And data within a form or a field is only so good. It's only when you see it painted in this way that it really comes to life. And it would be interesting for me if you could indicate in chat whether or not you use Power BI or whether you've got access to Power BI, just so that I can understand and gauge what kind of apps you have available. But in the meantime, here is a report looking at my general portfolio dashboard, and I can see that I've got 21 projects, 5 high priority risks, 10 high priority issues, which is great. And I can also see the number of projects that are split out by stage. And of course, beneath that, I see a wide list of projects that we have in the portfolio. I think I might actually have a filter applied. I probably do, because the data is a little bit lighter than what I would expect. But what's nice about Power BI, and thank you, by the way, quite a few of you coming back saying that you do use Power BI, which is excellent. But what I was going to indicate is that all of these charts, by the way, can act as filters. If I'm interested in all of the projects in planning, click on that and the rest of the report filters down. And in fact, if I'm really interested in a project, all I need to do is click on the name and it opens the project detail page up again in your Power App like the Accelerator Plus. But going back, and let me open up the menu again, we've got other reports. So we talked about risks. Let me bring up risks. In fact, this part of the demo probably links in with what I'm going to do in Copilot shortly, but there is a list of risks. Let me clear the filter down, and you will notice at the top that we've got all these filters, which is quite handy. So here we've got 29 risks, 13 of which are critical and so forth. We can break them down by category. We can see a risk matrix, operational risks. There's loads of them. So click on that, and I'm again filtering that list. Resource management, something that I talked about earlier. People often want really clear visibility of who's available and when, and are there any bottlenecks. So I'll leave the filters as they are. we've got this report, and by the way, you can filter down, look at specific resource types or individuals, which could be quite useful. But here I see the capacity of the line, the zigzag line, represents the capacity of the selected individuals. The bars represent the work that's currently booked in, and all of this white space is where people are sitting around, maybe not being fully utilized and not working on anything actively. On the other side, we see the availability over time. I've also got this really insightful heat map at the bottom as well. So if I look at my BAs, Adele, over-allocated by an hour, but good news, we've got Megan. Megan's sitting around with 2 hours to spare, so we could rejig that workload, which is quite nice. I could go on all day about these reports. They're very, very detailed, but what I am going to do for now is go back to the Copilot demonstration. So in a similar way to what Nicole demonstrated earlier, I'm going to open up Copilot and it pops up. And the question that I'm going to ask it is linked to the wider portfolio. And I'm going to ask Copilot to show me a list of risks without a contingency plan. And I managed to spell that without any mistakes. I think that deserves a round of applause. If you see how badly I normally type, it's terrible. So I'm going to run that off.
I wanted to let you know, in addition to Copilot answering questions, we've got 11 questions queued up for
okay.
As well.
Well, my demo, I've literally got 2 minutes remaining. So thank you for signposting that. We will get through the questions. And of course, if there's any that we can't get through today, I'm sure that the team, Rich, Kelly, will forward those on, and we'll send back a written response to the team, and they can then distribute the answers. But look, here we've got 14 risks without a contingency plan. Notable examples include this one, that one, and so forth. It lists out some of them, but I could also show them all on a single page, which again is really useful. Another question I'm going to ask is for the system to show me a list of projects that have not been updated in the last 10 days. Fire that one away. And we will get, of course, a really insightful response. You know who you need to go and chase and have a friendly word with. So there's more than 30, so there's lots of those. And probably there's too many, because normally this would also provide me with a list, not dissimilar to the list that I've generated here automatically. But what's really nice about these views that you get back is that you can go in and actually extend the views as well. So if you want to see, well, okay, I understand there's a risk, but who's it been escalated to? Let's add that in. I've not done this one before, actually. So I've added that in. I'll move it to the front, and we're going to apply. And you will see another column popping up, and you can see that these risks are being escalated to the program board, or this one has, and this one's been escalated to the project sponsor. Guys, that concludes the demo. We are going to present, literally, we'll really fast track this, a couple of slides, and then we're straight on to Q&A. Licensing, I'll cover this really quickly. And by the way, there is, obviously the slide deck is going to be shared. All I'm going to say is that licensing is very flexible. On this slide, we've defined various user types and indicated the Microsoft licensing they would require in order to get access to the full breadth of capability. I'll let you read through this in your own time, but what I will also very quickly state is that the pricing that you see on screen is the pricing you would see on the Microsoft website. The chances are, if you belong to a larger organization, you've probably already got some of these licenses. So go and speak to IT, ask, do we have Planner? Do we have Power Apps? I know some of you have already got Power BI. But the pricing you get, by the way, if you're in a larger organization or a not-for-profit or a government entity, you will get better pricing. Next steps, I know Nicole was going to talk about this, but I'm just conscious of the time. So very quickly, we'll signpost. If you are interested in the Accelerator Plus, there's a slide on that you will get access to. And if you want to find out more, just go in, scan the QR code, or download the brochure, and that will tell you everything you need to know. So guys, that brings us now to the Q&A. So Rich, Kelly, I'll hand back to you guys, and myself and Nicole, we're ready to be quizzed.
All righty. Thank you so much. I know we have a lot of comments and things kind of flying back and forth. What I can do is quickly share my screen and just kind of show you all the questions. Oh, you've got them. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. I will hand it back over to you.
All righty. Guys, let's go with the first three questions and see where we stand. I'm pretty convinced we may have questions that will need written follow-ups. First one there, does planner have the capability, it's important, to export to PowerPoint so that this can be shared, highlights can be shared with company leadership about project performance?
Yeah, we'll take the questions turn by turn. Nicole can take the next one because it's harder. But the very first one, can you export to a PPT? You can, but not necessarily directly from the plan. You can export to a PDF, you can export to Excel, but if you want to export something very specific to a PPT that's a bit more visual, you would go into Power BI and look at the reporting pack, and from there you can actually export a PPT, but you can also now embed a live Power BI report into a PowerPoint, license permitting.
Very good. Thanks, Baz. You said Nicole's going to pick up the next one, creating dependencies. And you showed us, I think, Nicole, kind of a simple one, task to task. But what happens if you have multiple dependencies? What tools exist to help that?
Yeah, so yeah, we showed the simple version, I guess, in Planner. So you can go into the task, create them there. You can go into timeline, create them that way. But in the Power App that Baz was demoing, we have the ability to link two projects to each other and then tasks between those projects. So that's an option as well to kind of go a little bit more high level with dependencies. So you have some different levels of options. Baz, anything you want to add on that one?
Yeah, all I would say is that we call the feature gives and gets. What are you giving away? What are you going to get back? You can have a one-to-many relationship. And essentially what you're doing is opening up a project and linking it to another one, saying that I'm going to be waiting on this task and it impacts this task in my project. And there's a nice set of Power BI reports that accompany that specific plugin. Not quite a network diagram for cross-project dependencies, but you will get a very clear view of what dependencies exist and what the status of those handovers look like. Is it red, amber, or green?
Our question 3 is right in that same zone here. What's the capability of creating a network diagram or seeing a network diagram view that would be dependencies? I think what this means to me, Post-its with lines drawn on a whiteboard that connects them, right?
Yeah.
That view.
So I understand the view. So within a project specifically, as Nicole demonstrated in the timeline, you can get that kind of view, but it's only on an individual project basis. Now, when it comes to cross-project dependencies, the data is there, but there's a visualization limit in Power BI in the sense that there is not a visualization that exists that support that kind of network diagram. So that's where we are slightly restricted. But we generally present that data in a table format. But again, it's a very easy to digest view. In fact, in some ways, it's probably slightly easier than a network diagram, especially where you've got a lot of data, because trying to decipher where the lines are going in that kind of view is very difficult. Whereas in a table, it's a lot more digestible, because again, if you're focused on the things that are at risk, red, filter down and you see everything that's in trouble.
Next question is, if you extend a task and timeline view, does the dependency task update on its own? So if you said that task is now going to take a week longer, do the subsequent tasks slide out a week longer and reflect that?
Yes, I thought Nicole was going to take that one, but yes, they do. If you extend something out, it automatically pushes out another task. Now, people will ask, can you prevent people from doing that if it messes up the plan? There are limitations in terms of being able to lock the plan down. It's very open, very collaborative. And we would always say that if a team member needs to extend a task out for whatever reason, and it's going to impact something else, they need to go and speak with the PM, and the PM should be the one to control that. But yes, we within Project for the Web, we've got what's called automatic auto scheduling. So in Project Desktop, we used to have the option of doing it manually, which was, I hated it, or you had the automatic option. And as a default Project for the Web, Planner for the Web, it's automatic.
Okay. Oh, there's one from this guy, Rich. Is there capability to perform resource leveling for it to do the resource leveling, smart resource leveling for you? You showed us manually how to identify that. What about any automagic capability? This is always
Yeah,
been
it's a great question. Nicole, I don't know if you want to take it, or should I take it?
You can take it, Baz.
Okay.
I'm
So-
not going to take it.
No, so there is no resource leveling feature within Project for the Web. I know that a resource leveling feature existed in Project Desktop with Project Online, but we were involved in some very, very large deployments spanning thousands of users. And honestly, I cannot remember a single client or a single organization that used that feature successfully, because it required such a high level of planning or detail level of planning and such maturity in that area to make it work effectively. That's just me saying that feature is not great in Project Online because it needs a lot of setup. But in Project for the Web, in short, we provide visibility so that you can make the informed decisions you need to, but it will not level your resources.
Yeah, remains a challenge type of a thing. I'll do one more on this one, guys, and then we have a little other business to tend to here. And it has to do with constraints. Where did that guy go? Can you create constraints such as a task must be completed by or on a particular date? That capability still there?
Nicole, would you like to say that one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think of that as using dependencies. This task must be completed before this thing can get done. And again, there's more we can do within the Power App itself on that, or maybe like create a custom table mapping out constraints. So that's something that we could probably consider as well. I don't know, Baz, if you have any other.
The only thing I would say is that when you look at pure scheduling capability compared between Project Desktop and Planner for the Web or Project for the Web, the new stuff is not as feature rich. So some of the capability to be able to lock down your, constraints must not finish any later than X date and so forth, that is not explicitly available, but there are workarounds. But what I would say is where you lose out in pure scheduling capability, you do gain in better user interface. More people from our experience Project for the Web or the Accelerator Plus adopt it compared to Project Desktop and Project Online. So you will gain more in terms of user base, more wider user capability around collaboration than what you lose is what I would say. And I know there was a question there about licensing as well. Again, we will provide written responses back to you, Rich and Kelly. So if you want to fire across any questions to us, we will compile responses, send it back to you, and you can then distribute. And I know that people have already got access to the slide deck that we shared, which you might be distributing. And in the back of a slide deck, we've got a whole bunch of useful links, which might actually cover off some of the other questions.
Great. Thank you very much. And speaking of thank yous, just in short, truly, Nicole, Baz, thanks for your expertise. Thanks. We had a lot of engagement online with chat, with questions and the like. So we're getting good real-time reviews. We'll have survey results in just a moment or two also. But we wanted to extend to you the certificate of appreciation to the both of you for this. Thank you so much for a dynamic and interesting presentation that clearly, Baz, I agree. We could have listened to you for a lot longer than this, but a few of us have to go back to work. So thank you.
That's not what my wife says. But,
hey,
lovely
folks,
thank you all today.
Prove me right. And Baz, Nicole, if you guys want to hang on a little bit afterwards, I wouldn't mind chatting with you guys after the event is over. If
Absolutely.
We can. Audience members, please prove me right here. Drop into the chat a key takeaway from today's presentation. What's something you picked up from today's presentation that you thought, hey, maybe I want to look forward, I want to implement this, or I was happy to hear or learn of something else? So Nicole and Baz can see some of that. I also need for everybody to get your phone back out. We have one more QR code exercise to take on here. And so this will be a QR code which will lead you to the survey. And we would ask that you go ahead and take 45 seconds now to complete the survey. All righty. And in the meantime, I'll play some soothing music during the time that you are taking the survey. And away we go. Okay, and there we are. That was one of the quickest 45 seconds that you'll experience because that tune lasted for 30 seconds. Thank you for completing the survey. That was a lot of fun to do that. And before we provide you the PDU code, we are going to return the virtual podium back to Kelly to cover off some items coming up. Kelly, are there any more good events coming up hosted by the chapter?
We've got some really fun events coming up. So I get to share all of the fun that you can keep going with us over the next month or two. We do have a program coming up in just less than 2 weeks on the evening of February 19th. This event or program will be offered virtually and in person. And it's all about change management. So if that's a topic that interests you, please come on out. In person will be downtown. We'll also have a virtual option for you. That's available for registration on our website right now. We also have a save the date out there for March 19th, the evening of March 19th. This program is near and dear to my heart, something I've been trying to get off the ground for a little while now. And it's our women's panel. So you can see more about the title and what we're hoping to accomplish at that event here on the screen. You also heard Rich's call out earlier for panelists for that panel. So if that's something that interests you, please let me know directly or go back to your form in the February newsletter and submit an application. I'm actually looking for about 1 or 2 more panelists. So if you do have some interest, let me know ASAP. And then I have a cool save the date for the end of April. We're not ready to announce that quite yet, but I do want to just tease it all for everybody that's sticking around for us on this webinar. This is actually going to be a tour, a presentation of one of Indy's largest annual local projects. We'll be hearing directly from the folks who put this event on. And I'll just say, if you like touring large homes, be on the lookout for more information about this event coming very soon. All right, I think we're ready to share the PDU code. Rich, you can close us out.
And thank you very much, Kelly. And that, folks, brings us to the end. And we are spot on time. Thank you very much. Don't forget to copy down that PDU code. Be all set. Have a great balance of your day. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Nicole, Baz, we're going to wait for a couple of minutes here, or a minute or so, basically, while we kind of clear the virtual room.
Sounds good.
Fine.
I'm good to go. If technology or the other volunteers would like to boot people, I think we have the ability to remove from the call. Oh, let's try one. Oh, fill out an abuse report. Yeah, okay. that's an interesting feature. All righty, guys. Hey, how'd it go? Nicole, Baz, how did it go for you guys?